Many of these scholarships have been to persons who would have been first in their families to go to college, and we think that that is quite transformational. If you'd like to learn more about our programs, you can also email us at info@lifeforkeyfoundations.org.
I want you all to picture your parents them over there watching you.
You want gangbang?
It's back.
You're here because your parents decided to put you in here.
The groundbreaking reality series returns.
You never told me before? You raise your hand at me?
Do you know it's still time to get it together?
With never before seen footage.
Come punch me then. Send you to punch him, mommy. You punch me?
This ain't no playground.
You can know before you leave today. If you leave, if they find some space, I just teach you all how to disrespect.
It's a whole new season.
Don't come here with your movie face, because I ain't buying it.
Watch their transformation.
It bears to be a winner. It bears to be a winner.
Teamwork. You are a unit. You moving as one.
So why you doing what you do?
The Ministry of National Security and the ZNS Network presents Shark Treatment. A whole new season coming soon.
Join us next time on Journey TV as life and business coach Keishelle Davis shares her lowest points and how she was counted out many times. Hear how she overcame and found great success, and how these experiences pushed her into purpose and currently feed her life's work. Tune in for this powerful testimony. Journey TV, we share life's truths.
Welcome back, and of course earlier we had Jaquay Adderley Dasquay share with us how he actually got yacht, according to him, into entertainment, entrepreneurship, and how he has found success in that area. But of course, early on he was doing it afraid, but he did not let that fear completely cripple him or say no to being pulled into purpose, essentially. Our team therapist, of course, is here to give her practical and professional tips on doing it afraid.
So one thing I want everyone to know about fear is that it's natural, right? We all experience fear at some point in our lives. Not only is fear natural, but it's also primitive. That means fear has been with us, an emotion, a powerful emotion that has been with us for centuries. And it alerts us to danger and threat, and it's a mechanism that's been in place naturally in us to protect us from threat, to protect us from danger. Here's another thing about fear though. Fear can be, for some persons, an adrenaline rush. So it's positive. And then for other persons, you have fear that's negative. Your response to fear can be biochemical, or it could even be emotional. And when we heard the story of Jaquay or Dasquay, the bubbler, we see more of an emotional reaction or response to fear, where it was personalized. For him, he experienced physical symptoms of nervousness when he was called upon to entertain, to connect with and perform on the stages of some of our nation's already established celebrities or entertainers. Fear can be very crippling, but there are ways that you can overcome fear. And some of those ways include social support, finding support from persons around you. Another way, which we heard that came out in Dasquay's story, is familiarity. So the more he connected, the more he was able to associate and align himself with persons who were on the same or similar path as he was in terms of his career, he got a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more confident in what it was that he did. So for those of you who may be struggling with fear, and there are different types of fears, and fear can come from, I know one of them that we struggle with most is fear of failure. And that's also something he may have been struggling with. And our fear of failure often comes from experience, right? And it can also be learned behavior. We don't want to be shamed. We don't want to be embarrassed, so we protect ourselves by not doing. But he did. Even though he was afraid, I might fail, and it might bring some shame, it might bring some embarrassment, he still wanted, or he still pursued his heart's desire. So those of you who are listening, I want to say to you, pursue. Pursue even though you may be afraid.
Wow, wow. Pursue, pursue, pursue. That is what you are encouraging everyone to do. I love it, I love it, I love it. That just spoke over me as well.
Good.
Thank you for joining us this week on Journey TV. Until next time, give love and light to the people around you, but most importantly, don't forget to give it to yourself. Join us next time for more Journey TV. Journey TV is presented by Ensure, Sign Island, Wildflowers, Dan Brad Limited, and Footprints Journey blog.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news, the Grand Bahama Power Company giving an overview tonight of their performance during the recent weather system. Officials say the power supply held up well with just some pockets of outages, and it was a good test run for the company. Raven Davis has the story.
The Grand Bahama Power Company is confident that it has a robust and comprehensive storm preparedness plan in place. Following the passage of that weather disturbance, officials say their system held up well and thankfully did not experience any significant damage. In an exclusive interview with ZNS News, Vice President of Operations Tony Seymour gives us insight into how the company prepares for storms.
So some areas went off, I think, from around 1 p.m. we started getting calls from certain areas, but we didn't dispatch anyone until around 5 or 6. So we did have someone that drove the lines ahead of time just to see what the issues were, so we knew what needed to be addressed in certain areas. So once the rain held up, then we were able to send out our teams to the various areas to have those issues addressed. So as long as there's rain, there's thunder, lightning, anything of that nature, we're not going to put them in harm's way to restore the power. So we know that it's inconvenient. Nobody likes for their power to be off, but we have to protect the lives of our team members.
That weather disturbance did cause pocket outages in some areas. And while criticism sometimes mount over the time in which power is restored, she explains that policy prohibits them from dispatching line crews until it is deemed safe to do so.
So we make sure that the plant is ready. We make sure that there's enough fuel, enough lube oil, facilities, maintenance. They ensure that all of the drains have been cleared to alleviate any flooding. If storm shutters are required, it's their responsibility to secure all of our buildings as well. Our transmission and distribution team, they go out and they prep all of the substations. They do any line cleanup that may be required ahead of a storm impacting us. Our fleet services department, they verify that all of our vehicles are fueled and stocked. So in the event that our line crews have to be dispatched, all of the trucks are ready and prepared. Warehouse as well. Prior to the start of hurricane season, we make sure that we have sufficient poles, lines, transformers, fuses, and the like in stock.
Reflecting on Hurricane Dorian, Seymour adds that the storm presented some unprecedented challenges for the company. And as a result, she says new plans were set in motion to mitigate against any eventualities.
So what our plan is moving forward, for any storms above a Category 3, we intend to do a controlled shutdown. Of course, we let the public know ahead of time so that they have an opportunity to prepare their homes, their meals, and whatever else it is. And we'll secure the plant and we'll allow our team members to return home to their families. We also have a program in place called storm hardening, where like an example would be the tropical storm that just happened. So we would look at the areas that were most affected, what caused the issues, and then we will go out there and address them. So vehicle staging was another lesson that we learned. As many of you know, we did lose our entire fleet of vehicles. They were staged just in the parking lot outside of this building, which never had a flooding issue before. So moving forward, we have located alternative locations to stage our vehicles.
Well, as for long-term plans, the company intends to change 5% of their wooden poles to metal or fiberglass poles every year for the next 5 years on their main transmission system. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
Well, the Grand Bahama Utility Company is boasting about their performance as well. You may recall that following Hurricane Dorian in 2019, the Grand Bahama Utility Company incurred massive flooding as their well fields were inundated with salt for months. Since then, the company invested millions into its infrastructure to safeguard itself against storms. Tonight, the Chief Operating Officer assures that the investment has paid off. For many agencies, the tropical cyclone passing through parts of the northern Bahamas over the weekend was a prelude to what is expected to be an above-average hurricane season. Chief Operating Officer of the Grand Bahama Utility Company, Filcher Grant, says they are pleased with their system's performance and note that their infrastructures held up well.
Our infrastructure performed very well during the storm event that we had over the weekend. We did lose power to one of our plants for about 2.5 to 3 hours, but we were able to run our backup generator. As part of our hurricane preparation, we ensure that all of our systems have been load tested, fully fueled. We also had our teams stationed at the plant to ride out the storm to be able to respond in case of any eventuality. We were very pleased that we never lost water to our customers and were able to provide service throughout the duration of the storm event.
Although it was only a tropical cyclone, for now, it would appear as though the investment of millions is paying off for the Grand Bahama Utility Company.
Of course, you know that we have a reverse osmosis system, which is a mobile situation. Based on the storm threat level, we are able to move that. But because this was what we called a lower tier storm, we didn't have to do the demobilization plan for our reverse osmosis. We've also spent millions of dollars on upgrading our generator supplies to be able to work independently in the event of power outages to keep water flowing as long as possible. We've also made investments in creating new wells in areas that proved not to flood in Dorian to be able to show that we have a sustainable and resilient supply.
The GBUC announced this hurricane plan on June 1. The COO says they have learned valuable lessons from past hurricanes and believe they are better equipped to handle storms.
Now, we know that Mother Nature is a formidable opponent, so we would never want to be too overly confident, but what we can say is that we use the lessons in Matthew and Dorian to be able to revise our plans to make it robust, to be able to deal with the situations that we had, improve our plan, and we feel confident that we've taken those lessons, made the improvements, and we are prepared in the case of a storm event. Again, Grand Bahama's been through so much, so we, like everybody else, pray that we are spared any major storms, but we also know that we need to be prepared in case we have. So what we do is we have a plan where we prepare for a Cat 5 or the worst that we've seen, and we scale down based on what the predictions are for the storm threats.
Now, the tropical cyclone was a rainmaker, which means there was not much concern for saltwater inundation. But the COO says climate change is having an impact.
Climate change is having an impact on the aquifer, and so we are running to make sure that we can conserve and preserve this precious resource for future generations. So we do make responsible operating decisions on how we manage that resource, but for sure we are potable, and that had no impact on the storm. As a matter of fact, this storm brought a lot of rain that was actually beneficial to the aquifer and turned out to be a blessing in disguise for the utility company.
Grant says they were fully operational throughout the entire storm and had teams stationed at the plant for the duration of the event. Well, Abaco's airline industry is rebuilding. This past Monday, June 6th, Delta Airlines resumed service to Marsh Harbor from Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Delta will operate 5 flights a week, and the relaunched 2-hour flight will provide significant connections to Abaco from much of the United States.
Prior to Dorian, Abaco represented the third fastest route for us in the Bahamas in terms of its airlift. Abaco contributed significantly to the overall national economy. But when it came to stopover arrivals, Abaco was holding its own, comparatively speaking, percentage-wise, even if compared to Nassau and Grand Bahama. What this means for Abaco is that it would really assist us with creating opportunities for entrepreneurs, really adding again to the additional rooms for hotels.
Roma adds that this move speaks boldly to the investor confidence in the island. He adds that Delta was one of the first airlines that expressed intentions of returning to the island with the expected influx of tourists as a result of the continuation. Roma states that the hotel properties have assured the Ministry of Tourism that they are ready to welcome visitors.
A rather unique market niche when it comes to Airbnb, and so we do know that the available inventory is shifted. Even post-Dorian, we see a lot more rooms coming in there for Airbnb, and we believe that it's going to really test the whole theory about how we can complement or supplement traditional rooms with offerings from Airbnb. But it's going to cause there to be a trickle-down effect, again, for Abaconians. So you'll find more than just one hotel benefiting. We believe that many in the local communities are really going to benefit because of increased visitor arrivals to Abaco.
Now, Roma insists that the team at the Ministry of Tourism and Western Aviation fully intend to support the Abaco product and encourages residents on the island to once again prepare themselves for the opportunities that are imminent for Abaco. Well, in other news, parents of a private institution taking issue with a decision made by the school to have them tested before they are allowed to attend graduation ceremonies. Some parents say that was the final straw. Our Aja Quant is on that story tonight.
Parents say they are irate following a decision made for Sunland Baptist Academy's upcoming graduation ceremonies. The school's leadership responding to those concerns, noting that they're just following guidelines sent to them. A negative COVID test is what parents would need in order to watch their child walk across the stage. A voice note from businessman Darren Cooper, a parent of the institution, went viral, calling on the principal and chairman to be removed due to what he says is the worst Sunland has ever been ran. He also calls on the school to cease and desist from such a request, as churches are not in need of testing for weekly services.
Is pastors requiring members to take COVID tests to come to church? Is you required to take COVID tests to go to the food store? I'm one of those persons that believe that COVID is real. But when we try to force person's hand in doing certain things, it becomes a problem for me.
Cooper and his wife, Sarah, expressing that they are not only parents, but are also customers, and that they are concerned about the state of the school.
For me, Sunland is a good institution, one that has been around for many years. I think that the persons who sit in position of power should really look at the institution, look at the full makeup of the institution, address and deal with the issues and the concerns, not just with their customers, because our parents are the customers. And without us, there is no institution.
We are customers. We should be heard, okay? And I believe that it's so many issues that has caused me to take a turn or rethink the future of my children at the school. And It's disheartening.
Now we also went in search of the principal, Devonna Knowles. She says the school is following the guidelines communicated to all principals and notes that she also made calls to healthcare professionals for advice on what steps to take as a school. She maintains that all decisions are made by the school board.
As a school, we've always endeavored to make decisions for our school community and the safety of our school community. Some decisions are made and they're not always popular decisions or well-liked decisions, but there are decisions that have to be made for the school as a whole and not independently, not just looking at an independent case, but a broad view of things. I don't make decisions in and of myself as a school principal. They're always done in consultation, where it is that I can make certain decisions within my scope as the principal of the school. I do that, and other decisions are made from a board level or advanced to the board level. Concerns from parents are always advanced to the board as well. And so from that standpoint, that's the way the school operates.
A long-standing parent with several children, anonymously reaching out to ZNS News, defending the principal, expressing their disappointment in what they call the most grotesque act of bullying they have seen, adding that the principal hasn't been given a fair chance.
From her initial announcement, she was met with resistance, opposition, protests. There were petitions being circulated within weeks of her appointment. She did not hire herself. Ms. Knowles was brought in based on her experience, her credentials. She, to my understanding, went through a hiring process. There was a committee, and the school made a decision.
Principal Knowles notes that she has an open door policy for parents with concerns. For the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, I'm Azure Quant.
Thanks, Azure. In news from the Crime Beat, police are reporting that wanted suspect 30-year-old Vaccaro Morley is now in custody. Morley, a resident of Tamarind Street, was arrested today in the Freeport area. Police say he was wanted for violation of bail. Now to a rather disturbing story. Our cameras were rolling downtown today as a woman considered a regular to the area was attacked by a man who had just pulled up in the Old Winn-Dixie parking lot. Now the man, believed to be employed in the industrial sector, was reportedly wearing what is called a steel-toe boot, and he allegedly kicked the woman in the mouth, causing serious injuries. Onlookers in the area became irate. They say it was an unprovoked attack and they called for an ambulance. The woman was transported to the hospital for treatment. The woman's jaw appeared to be twisted as she was taken from the ambulance and into the emergency room for medical care. And we have since learned that she was given several stitches. Now we contacted police. They say they are on the hunt for the suspect involved. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Stay with us. There's more news when we come back.
Come on down. Come on down. Now.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man. Not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
I embrace what God is about to do here. And if God brings you to it, He definitely will take you through it.
Hurricane Dorian tested their resilience, but in its wake, they remained steadfast. 2 years later, they're building back stronger, better, and bigger. Join us live from East End on June 13th through 17th as we bring to you the spirit of survival. This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The National Tripartite Council is the premier agency for social dialogue in the country. It consists of representatives from the government, the community, and the labor movement. The council role is to discuss issues and advise the government on how those issues are impacting the country. Additionally, they're also partly responsible for assisting in good industrial relations. Members of the council giving us an update on what's in the pipeline.
The National Tripartite Council submitted its recommendations to the government on the increase in minimum wage. Executive Manager in the Ministry of Labor, Quinton LaRota, says the council is also working on amendments to the Industrial Relations and Employment Act, which will greatly benefit the workers of the country.
We also are very pleased that the government some time ago signed on to the Decent Work Country program. And so we're also ecstatic, led by our able chairman, Sharon Martin, who has done several presentations before Cabinet and has gotten the funding for the Decent Work Country program. And that's an all-encompassing program that will greatly improve this country in terms of training, improving the family island, and also increasing safety at work.
He says the Minister of Labor has given the council his support and notes that one of their roles is to carry out his mandate.
He's been more than a facilitator, he's been a cheerleader, and that gives all a good feeling because the level of support is pretty strong. The Prime Minister has been very open to our work, it's been very encouraging, so we feel that the workers of this country, that something good is happening and something better is on the way.
Now, when it comes to minimum wage, he says the council has been making recommendations since 2015, but as of late, it has become more pressing due to inflation. And while there may be a dire need for an increase in wages, the concern now is whether or not business owners can afford the increase. Member of the NTC, Malvise Capron, believes that there must be widespread consultation with employers to get a general consensus.
We have very small businesses, medium-sized, and large businesses. And, you know, to my view, we have to take into consideration all of that. Can they afford it? Can they afford to stay in business with an increase in wages for employees? It's just as hard for a business to stay in business as it is for the employee to make ends meet.
Capron adds that employees are advocates for increases and notes that oftentimes they feel as though they're not paid what they're worth. However, she says the employer is in business to make a profit, and for that to happen, employees must be productive.
Because if we're not productive and the company isn't meeting its demands or its bills, then of course we know what happens. It's the labor that's always cut in order to meet those demands. So to me, it's a double-edged sword. You know, we want to maintain a level of employees or labor while at the same time being profitable and meeting our gross profit margins at the end of the day.
The member calls it dual responsibility of the government to ensure that employees are satisfied with their wages, but also to enshrine that employers can afford the increase.
now to your evening sports package. The 2022 Queen's Birthday honorees were announced a few days ago. Sports Hall of Famer Churchill Tenor Knowles was among them, recognized by the Queen for his service to sports and the community. Shane Stubbs has more.
Local sport legend and pioneer Churchill Tenor Knowles is among 18 others receiving the Queen's Birthday honor. Knowles is recognized as Companion of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George for his outstanding services in sports and community. It is his latest accolade, and Tenor Knowles is grateful to receive the esteemed honor.
Many years ago, I was bestowed the honor of having the National Softball Stadium named in my honor. Also, a member, Hall of Fame of the International Softball Federation, the World Softball Hall of Fame. So it's always appreciative that persons actually appreciate what you do in your country and in your community. And I've always been an advocate of persons making contributions to the country.
Over the years, the Softball Hall of Famer's focus has been one of making significant contributions. As someone who has served as an executive on various committees, he continues to encourage the future leaders of tomorrow to do the same.
Whenever I am asked to conduct an election of office for the various sports, I say to them who's going to be nominated and elected to office, now make sure that you are sure what you want to do. Don't go to just to have a name, but to make a contribution, make a difference in that sport. And that's always been my philosophy, to always try and make a contribution to my country. Whatever I do, wherever I go, I try to make a difference and a contribution. And as I said earlier, as a Christian, I think God gives the strength and the guidance and the ability to do so. And that is why I do so.
For ZNS Total Sports in the North, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Well, it is championship week in Little League Baseball, heading into scores from games played over the weekend. And Coach Pitch Red Sox edged out the Predators 16-15. In the minor league play, Red Sox ousted Fortune 360 10-3. And in the major league play, the Lions defeated Fortune 360 8-6. Let's talk local basketball now. The Grand Bahama Summer Basketball League in action last week. In the under-13 play, Team Ginger topped Hull Suppliers 19-17. Raheem Ferguson netted 6 points. In the under-15 play, Kamala Boys outscored Zarbers 35-26. Joshua Williams led his team with 13 points. Aiden Miller letting 11 in the loss. In the under-18 play, starter specialist topped Grand Central 30-26. Arado Williams with a high score of 16 points. Express Food Mart got over Prescription Paula 29-14. Alex Minnis netted 10 points. In the open play, Bella VC Ballers defeated Power 8 45-31. Keyshawn Rule put up 11 points. And Island Builders team taking down Econo Electronic 49-42. Delano Dean netted 16 points in that tip-off.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street introduces its new home improvement center. Step into our brand new, fully stocked showroom for the latest in doors, tiles, housewares, kitchenwares, bathwares, vanities, power tools, electrical, and plumbing supplies. So stop by our showroom to view our full range of products or call the Home Advisor hotline at 602-0935 today. We are your home advisors.
The Grand Lucine Hotel wants all dads to experience a great Father's Day weekend. Fun day at Waves Poolside, brunch at Churchill's or Portobello's, or a relaxing day at Senses Spa. Ticket box office is at Lighthouse Point Lobby.
embrace what God is about to do here. And if God brings you to it, He definitely will take you through it.
Hurricane Dorian tested their resilience, but in its wake, they remained steadfast. 2 years later, they're building back stronger, better, and bigger. Join us live from East End on June 13th through 17th as we bring to you the spirit of survival. This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your number one news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Nadia Norales, you are our Facebook friend today, and we want to say thank you so much for your support. We certainly do appreciate it. And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Until next time, have a great day. We invite you to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, BPL's plans for the peak summer months. Officials wrestle a spike in crime. What's next for the outgoing police commissioner? And Jazz's career night. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Super Fast Internet for Less. Best rate, no debate. Sign up today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mukesh Lopinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for joining us. 4 key priorities up for discussion at the Summit of the Americas in Los Angeles, California: health, recovery and resilience, eco-growth and prosperity, a strong and inclusive democracy, and the green future, the latter of considerable interest in light of the impact of climate change, a real threat to small island developing states like the Bahamas, one of the most vulnerable countries in the world.
We are still not seeing action matching words that find themselves on these various documents and declarations. And for that matter, we have made an intervention that is causing some concern here, where we need to have easier and equitable access to climate funding. We have made a submission and intervention in that regard. It has not yet gotten full acceptance by some of the states that are here, and we intend to, if at the end of the day it's not accepted, to put a footnote to what we believe should be the position in respect to having access to climate funding.
Now, on the issue of a strong and inclusive democracy, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis says he may also make an intervention in this regard. Now, missing from the summit is Cuba, who, along with Venezuela and Nicaragua, were not invited. It's a real concern for the Bahamas, and according to the Prime Minister, here's why.
That Cuba is at our doorstep. You have to appreciate that as long as these embargoes and blockades and sanctions exist against Cuba, what it does, it hurts the population, and it increases the misery of those people, hence the desperation to leave. And so we then are faced with the irregular migrants coming from Cuba into the Bahamas, which is an existential threat to our national security. Why? Because there is a very huge, powerful lobby in South Florida in respect to the regime in Cuba. And as we move to as we move to live up to our international obligations of repatriation, those in South Florida do not accept that we have that obligation.
In other news this evening, Bahamas Power and Light has come up with a contingency plan for the summer months, a peak consumption period of up to 260 megawatts. Public Works Minister, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, revealing during his contribution to this morning's budget debate that provisions have been made to up that figure to as much as 323.5 megawatts. This, he said, gives the BPL room to respond in the event there is a power failure.
To achieve this, Madam Speaker, there will be a number of rental agreements with Aggreko and Sun Utilities, totaling 83 megawatts to provide adequate, highly reliable generation to complement the generation of BPL, which is normally at 241.5 or 1 megawatts, to meet the desired 323.5 megawatts to service the projected peak demand for 2022.
Now, the Aggreko rental contract already exists. You may recall the Sun Utilities contract was recently awarded with the expectation that it will be commercially available on or before July 1st.
27 megawatts of Sun Utilities contract is dual fuel and can run on the cheaper heavy fuel oil. 16 megawatts of the Sun Utilities rentals will run on propane and will result in savings of up to $40 million in overall costs, including fuel, over the 12 months compared to the running the less efficient gas turbine at Blue Hills Power Station.
Now, according to the minister, in an effort to further manage BPL's cost, several maintenance activities have been delayed until after summer. Meantime, Family Island residents stand to benefit from major infrastructural projects. For the details of what's in the pipeline, we turn to a report now from our Fern Carey.
Infrastructural upgrades and road improvement projects across the Family Islands have started again after being delayed due to Hurricane Dorian and the pandemic. That confirmation coming from Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Alfred Sayers, in his budget contribution in the House of Assembly on Wednesday. He says the move is necessary as the upgrades and projects to roads, docks, and airports directly impact the livelihood and quality of life of Family Island communities.
Exuma Road Repair and Carriageway Rehabilitation Project. This is another road project which is part of the Family Island Road Improvement Program. This project was awarded in May 2020 to Caribbean Pavement Solutions Limited. Work started on the site on the third quarter of 2022. The project comprised of 10 miles of road rehabilitation from the Exuma Airport to the town center, including isolated repairs in other sections of the island. The project budget is $8.04 million.
Civil works are also underway to airports in the Family Islands.
The reconstruction and expansion of the Great Harbor Key Airport, Berry Island, commenced in May 2019. The contract was in two sections, one for the new terminal building and another for the airside civil works. The civil works involved the expansion of the apron and taxiway, the addition of two new turn pads, and resurfacing of the runway. In addition, a new car park is to be constructed with the complete fencing of the whole airport.
Minister says highlighted new projects on tap for the Family Islands that are expected to get underway soon should the 2022-2023 national budget be approved. That includes upgrades to tourist attractions like the Glass Window Bridge and other touristic sites here in New Providence. As to the flooding issues residents here in the capital have been grappling with in recent months, Minister says noted that new measures will be employed to tackle the issue.
In this budget, for the first time, there is a line item, Madam Speaker, where we're talking about flood mitigation. It is not sufficient during these times to just go and clean wells. We need to now incorporate some new measures. So what we will be doing, Madam Speaker, is in certain key areas, we will be introducing, such as Pinewood, 600 feet on Southern Shore, 600 feet wells. We also will be using tiger dams in some of the public spaces. We will put tiger dams and pump the water.
The infrastructural upgrades are all expected to target their completion date. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Now for a look at the latest crime figures as released by National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, during the budget debate Tuesday afternoon. In the case of serious matters, there was an 18% increase from 1,580 last year to sit at 1,872. The increase attributable to the heavily populated islands of New Providence and Grand Bahama, while the Family Islands recorded a 23% decrease over the same period of January to May 31st, 2022.
The incidence of violence, crimes against a person rose by 45% from 508 to 315, and the numbers that everyone seems to be very concerned about, murders increased from 58 incidents from 46 for the same period last year. It is a problem that is vexing that the Commissioner saw across all of the region. In that period, Madam Speaker, ShotSpotter, which is localized and limited, detected 296 gunshots, consisting of 207 multiple shots, 76 single shots, and 13 probable shots.
Munro adding that some 419 shell casings were collected, all analyzed. There were also notable drug seizures.
511 pounds of cocaine and 5,178 pounds of marijuana. This resulted in the arrest of 543 persons, with 427 of them being charged. While the statistics are disturbing, our research suggests that the trafficking of illegal firearms and ammunition by transnational criminal organizations and the sale by local gangs result in easy access to weapons by criminal elements in our nation. It is important to note a fact that is self-evident. The Bahamas does not manufacture guns, ammunition, and with the exception of one or two cannabis plants, nor do we produce drugs.
Well, just a matter of time now before Paul Roll leaves behind the Royal Bahamas Police Force as its commissioner. Roll, who joined the RBPF in May 1983, have enjoyed a stellar career to serve as its top cop for the past 2 years. Lauding the outgoing commissioner, National Security Minister, the Honorable Wayne Munro, says Roll is well qualified to assume his new post as ambassador to the International Maritime Organization.
Persons may not be aware, and for those who aren't aware, Commissioner Roll has much qualification in this area. The maritime area is one of great importance to this country, and he is assuming this role as somebody not only with what we would call book learning, but massive experience in management, not only from education, but from having managed the Royal Bahamas Police Force in very trying circumstances. He will bring this experience to the international maritime arena to enhance the Bahamas' place as we were just elected to the IMO Council. And we look forward to him bringing the same innovation as he did with the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Well, now is a good time to take a look at your screen because police need your help locating 41-year-old Jerry Dolcine as they want to question him in connection with a murder. He's described as having a dark brown complexion with slim build. His height is unknown, but if you have any information on the whereabouts of Dolcine, detectives at the Criminal Investigation Department want you to call them at 502-9991 or 2. And of course, you can also download the P3 Tips app. Well, in media, journalists are oftentimes required to go beyond where most people are allowed. This all in pursuit of delivering to you, our viewers, the basic tenets of who, what, when, where, why, and how. This weekend's crash in Long Island, no exception. Tonight, our very own Amajal Knowles shares his experience of reporting that ill-fated crash, but through the eyes of much more than a reporter. Lloyd Allen has the story.
As journalists, you know, it's always this story. You got to cover the story, but, you know, you can't forget the human element of things sometimes.
That brings us to ZNS reporter Amajal Knowles, who this weekend told a story that tugged at the heartstrings of many, that of Sunday's plane crash near Deadman's Key that claimed the life of a young mother. But Amajal's story is anything but one through the eyes of a reporter. Rather, it's one of many on the ground that day providing help.
Sco and Barefoot, they went ahead of me to get some breakfast or look for some breakfast. And you would message me and ask me if I heard anything about, you know, plane crash. We didn't hear anything, but as soon as you said that, like literally a minute later, Sco and Barefoot came in and said a lady was telling them about a crash.
From there, he, along with cameraman Roscoe Gibson and radio personality Ronald Sims, made their way to a track road off Queens Highway into an isolated marshland about 2 miles from the Deadman's Key Airport.
From there to the crash site, it was probably maybe 3 to 4 mile journey in, you know, rough terrain, swamp, mud. You had to do all this barefoot. So, because obviously the mud and stuff, you don't want to get your shoes dirty.
Once they arrived to the site, the three were joined by a team of volunteers, officials, and victims. He says at this point, it was confirmed that at least one person had died.
People that were there were trying to, you know, obviously get the body back to the police vehicles. And it may have been maybe 2-3 police along with some other volunteers, maybe 3-4 volunteers, I want to say. I think the natural human instinct in me kicked in and said, hey, obviously we're here covering the story, but, you know, these people also need help.
With little thought, Amo, Sco, and Barefoot lifted the deceased back to the main road, an experience he remembers as both physically and emotionally taxing.
The young lady that passed away, I'd actually seen her the night before, and then my friend here was a part of the crash as well. You know, coming home and everything settling down, the adrenaline wearing off, and, you know, starting to take in what had transpired, you kind of, you know, be like, wow, that really happened.
Amo says nothing could have prepared him for this experience.
Something about this just felt more, you know, surreal. You know, just having seen that young lady just 7-8 hours prior. It's a rough job.
He says he is changed as professional, but remains committed to the importance of his job.
I'm Amajal Knowles, and I'm a proud journalist of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Well, great story there, Amajal. Still to come, what came out of recent meetings in Qatar. The details of that and more. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report returns.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
A lot has changed over the past 60 years. But at Commonwealth Bank, our mission to build lifelong relationships with our clients remains the same. Our customers are more than just a number. Our customers are our family, and together we create banking solutions that fit your unique needs. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them...
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
They say that when it hits you. A feeling so strong that it's impossible not to give into. A juicy piece of KFC to feel elevated by the aroma and to free fall into its exciting flavor. Some call it love, attraction, desire. We call it KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Satisfying to own your own piece of paradise? The most important investment you can make in your life is real estate, and Fidelity has the solution for you. You could become the owner of a home or a lot on any of our beautiful islands. Come and talk to a loan officer and inquire about how you can fund your goals with a loan today. Because we know it means a lot to own a lot. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit any of our branches, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies Limited. If it's healthcare, it's here.
Aside from tax exemptions and concessions, the proposed budget also makes way for some major changes to provisions in real property tax requirements. Carla Palmer tells us more about the government's push to tighten the legislation.
Officers at the Department of Inland Revenue have just completed the New Providence 2022 reassessment program. And according to Acting Director Shanda Strawn, this is but another first step in the government's efforts to streamline and sustain its revenue collection process.
So we reassessed all properties in New Providence. And of course, some values went up, but of course, some values went down. What it was, the intent of the project was to ensure that all values were accurate and correct. It was to make sure that there was equity across the board. So you have persons in the same neighborhood. If you are exempt, your neighbor by and large should be exempt unless their castle is a castle and your house is a little house.
All homeowners, Strawn advises, should know their real property tax status. Simply, are you required to pay real property tax or not? Not knowing could be a costly mistake in accrued arrears.
If you have significant arrears and your property is mortgaged, go and see your lender. Go and talk to your mortgagee, right? Because between the two of you, they will be able to assist, I'm sure. And I'm saying it that way because the department really isn't able to extend long payment plans any longer. We're in collections mode. And so in previous years, we had amnesties. The last one just ended in September. September of last year, we had an amnesty where if you were in arrears, you could have gotten up to 50% off your real property tax arrears. So all of that is done now, and we're now in full collections mode.
Already, $1 billion is owed to the government. As a result of this substantive sum, significant changes are being implemented this annual fiscal budget cycle, as Strawn points out.
One of the things that will be debated is the power of sale and the properties that fall under the government's ability to sell if you are in tax arrears. So there is a slight change to Section 25 of the Real Property Tax Act that speaks to the power of sale. Previously, it was all foreign-owned properties that were not or are not owner-occupied. They fell under that section, and they were eligible to be sold for excessive arrears. Now, it is all properties that are not owner-occupied.
In addition to the power of sale, Strawn highlights some other important proposals.
One of the things, residential. The residential definition, it was kind of any property that you owned other than the one you occupy. So other than your owner-occupied property, you own a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth property that you rented for dwelling purposes. It got the residential rate. Now, if you have more than 4 additional properties, so not your dwelling, so your dwelling is 1, and you have more than 4, so 5 and above, those properties will be taxed the commercial rate. So it's a slightly higher rate. Different classifications, a slight change in the definition would mean slightly different tax rates.
Homeowners without a mortgage who are required to pay real property tax are being invited to contact the Department of Inland Revenue. To not do so, officials say, is to have their accounts moved to private collections, and for the homeowner, this will be an added fee. Strawn says simply call the department for assistance. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Carla Palmer.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economic Affairs recently leading a delegation to the Middle East for high-level talks. While in Exuma this weekend, the DPM shared with us the outcome of those meetings.
They have great things they're doing there. It was good to learn a few of what they are trying to achieve. They're getting into tourism business. We can teach them a thing or two. We've been able to get some technical support for Bahamas Air, and of course some of our other initiatives like airport development. But we're also going to teach them a little bit about tourism development. They love the idea of our people-to-people program. They love the idea of our Bahama Host program. So we're going to show them how to do tourism. They've only been doing tourism in Saudi Arabia for the last 4 years. So this was a significant moment to connect with them. One of the things that our Prime Minister determined in coming to office is that we need to reconnect with the world. And in doing so, we build relationships, we create opportunities, we attract investments, and really, you know, we take our place in the world once more.
RF's taking a key step to help its clients manage wealth and meet their financial needs. The opportunity presenting itself at the company's one-day business economic outlook held under the theme, Future Forces, World-Changing Ideas. Here's RF's Vice President of Investment Banking, Jim Wilson.
The intention is to keep Bahamians informed as to what the future holds. What are the future technologies that are coming that are going to impact our lives? What are the future trends that are going to impact our lives? What's happening in the rest of the world right now that's going to impact our lives? Just keeping Bahamians informed and future trends. And so anybody who has an interest in whether it be blockchain, whether it be the events that are happening right now, the geopolitical events happening in Europe right now. How do those things impact the lives of Bahamians and the investment opportunities for Bahamians?
The event mirroring what took place in the Cayman Islands.
Our target audience is anybody in the educational field, anybody who is university students, it's business leaders, it's government leaders, it's anybody who has an interest and understands that we don't live in a bubble and everything that happens, everything that's happening outside of the Bahamas has an impact on us here in the Bahamas.
Minister of the Environment and Natural Resources, the Honorable Vaughn Miller, attending a high-level meeting for ministers of the environment, parties to the Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm Conventions in Geneva, Switzerland. Those discussions taking place under the theme Global Agreements for a Healthy Planet, Sound Management of Chemical Waste. The minister addressing the three planetarian environmental crisis of pollution, climate change, and biodiversity loss. The forum runs until the 17th. A proud moment for the country as Dame Janet Bostwick has been named the 2021 recipient of the prestigious CARICOM Triannual Award for Women. She joins a list of only 13 Caribbean women to have ever received the honor. Minister of Education, the Honorable Glenys Hanna Martin, lauded Dame Janet for her outstanding contributions to local politics, noting that she advanced legislation for the protection of women and children. The country will pause to honor the Dame on June 10th, as it is on June 10th, 1982, when she was victorious at the polls, becoming the first woman to sit in the House of Assembly.
The election of Janet Bostwick represented a shattering of what had theretofore been a glass ceiling, and indeed a busting through of solid barrier to women, and would represent an inspirational achievement to girls and women everywhere and in every sphere, including myself. On Friday coming, which is June 10th, 2022, 40 years to the day of her election, and under the auspices of the Bahamas branch of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarians, sitting and former women parliamentarians and other women of varying distinction will gather along with Dame Janet Bostwick herself in celebration of this great Bahamian woman.
Opposition leader, the Honorable Michael Pintard, also praised Dame Janet for her contributions to nation building.
We love and appreciate this God-fearing giant who continues to serve with excellence, distinction, and a quality often missing in politics, humility. The Free National Movement is stronger for the contribution of Dame Janet Bostwick. We've leaned on her wisdom, strength, and political acumen for 4 decades. And she has never let us down.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Stay with us.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Switch for better when you move your mortgage to Scotiabank.
Leave behind that old mortgage plan and open the door to a low interest rate. No payments for up to 2 months and cash back of 2.5% of the mortgage amount up to US $10,000. And guess what? It gets better. Apply for your Scotiabank credit card and enjoy a low 9.99% introductory rate for the first 6 months. Switch for better and upgrade your mortgage today with Scotiabank. Offer ends June 30th, 2022.
Tourism today. Bahamas Tourism today.
It's all fun and games at Fair Play Lounge in Port Lucaya, Grand Bahama. With native Bahamian food, the restaurant has captured the hearts of many Bahamians and tourists alike.
When you come, you're going to get a service, you're going to get a great service, you're going to get a great smile, and you're going to get excellent food. So our motto here, try the rest and you have to come back to the best. So we make sure you leave with a smile on your face. And if you don't, we try our best to make it up.
The restaurant is known for comfort food, attracting customers from all around the world.
It's a great experience. We got people who come from all the way up from all, like, we heard about Fair Play, all walks of life. Oh, you had a friend tell us about it. And that's the promotion right there, like word of mouth. And actually live up to the expectation. You know, Bahamians is like the hardest set to please. And if you can please them, you're on to something good, especially Freeport people. If they food ain't right, you're gonna know.
For more information on Fair Play, visit tourismtoday.com. I'm Joshua Robbins, and this is Tourism Today.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian.
I see great savings in your future. Shop the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.69. Hellman's mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $5.89. Sunny Delight Smooth or Tangy, 64 ounce, 2 for $5. Sweet mangoes, 99 cents each. Turkey wings, $1.89 per pound. Shop the savings at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
What? Check old girl, boy. You say she getting married? Oh, man, not again.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join this man's BTC home internet with this woman BTC mobile service in holy matrimony. So they'll pay half the price compared to the other guys.
What's wrong with you? Just let them.
Madam, do you have BTC mobile service?
I do.
Sir, do you have BTC home internet to unite with her mobile service?
I do.
Get all the internet you want at half the price when you bundle your home internet and mobile service.
So, what services do you have?
Me? I have BTC at home and on my phone.
Visit any BTC store to make the switch today.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
If you needed a daily reminder that the COVID-19 pandemic is still with us, local cases prove it. Overnight, 20 cases swelled to 33, 21 of them here in the capital, 7 on Bimini and Cat Key, 2 on Grand Bahama, and 1 each on the Berry Islands and Cat Island, with the location of another pending. Meantime, a slight dip in COVID hospitalizations, which are now at 23, all the sick moderately ill. As for active cases, June 7th recorded 933. That same day, a reported 72 people recovered from the virus and 138 RT-PCR tests were completed. 8 of them repeats. Well, having met its target, the Public Hospitals Authority has closed its online registration process for job fairs here in New Providence and Grand Bahama. This then means that no other submissions will be accepted, be it online or in person. The PHA notes that those who have completed the registration process will receive notification of the location and time of their interview via email. Only registrants who have received confirmation of a scheduled interview will be admitted into the interview process. Meantime, the Department of Labor will process unregistered applicants for future opportunities and consideration. The authority anticipates completing over 800 interviews during the process, beginning June 11th at the job fair in New Providence and June 18th in Grand Bahama. As we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, Be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
To be the best, world-class athletes depend on a live to stay connected. We are committed to promoting Bahamian excellence locally and on an international stage. With hundreds of thousands of people depending on us, we must be a strong, fast, and flexible network. With speeds as fast as Joanna and plans as flexible as Donald, there's a plan suitable for everyone starting as low as $1 a day. With our Freedom Plans, choose the way you want to be connected with a 1-day or 7-day Freedom Plan. With our 30-day Liberty Plans, choose the right bundle of talk, text, and data. And for postpaid, we've got Liberty bundles loaded with talk, text, data, and even roaming included. Alive's hard-working network was built for hard-working people. No matter your goal, we have a plan that you can depend on. We are Alive.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your home, so let's tidy up those finances. Sunshine Finance can help you sweep up your bills, declutter your budget, toss out your debt with a realistic consolidation plan, and plan ahead for that home or car you've always dreamed of. Contact us at apply@sunshinefinanceltd.com, and we'll have you walking on sunshine in no time. Sunshine Finance, we're your leader in private lending.
The ZNS community page now has its own home on Channel 230. Be sure to tune into this channel to see informative notices, funeral announcements, birthday greetings, and much, much more. So watch the ZNS community channel today on Cable 230.
Attention customers, next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete confusion and chaos throughout the entire Bahamas. Water, phone, and internet services will be in short supply. Definite data loss is expected to all local and Family Island businesses.
Disasters? Don't plan ahead, but you can. Don't wait. Make a plan with Bahamas Cloud. Safe, secure, and reliable service. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Now to some good news for our tourism industry. U.S.-based Delta Airlines resumed its Atlanta, Georgia, Marsh Harbor, Abaco route yesterday. The 2-hour flight will operate 5 times weekly between Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport and the Leonard M. Thompson International Airport in Marsh Harbor. The Caribbean Journal Online reports that Abaco is one of the top boating destinations in the region and is now back better than ever since 2019's Hurricane Dorian. In fact, they view Marsh Harbor, Green Turtle, and Elbow Keys in South Abaco as seeing strong demand. Add to that hotel offerings from the Bluff House, Green Turtle Club, Abaco Beach Resort, and the Abaco Club on Winding Bay. Oh, while New Providence residents vent on the increasing rise in gas prices, Family Islanders have been facing staggering prices at the pumps now for weeks. Here's what Bahamas Petroleum Dealers Association Vice President Vasco Bastian told us.
Because if it's $7.39 at Esso in New Providence, imagine Rubus and Shell and Esso in the Family Islands, where the logistics is different, where they have to now ship their gas from Nassau to the Family Islands. Come on, an additional cost. And the shipping has gone up as well.
Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, McChrystal. We are under cloudy skies after some afternoon showers. Temperature now stands at 82 degrees. Relative humidity 69%. The winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,016.7 millibars. That is 30.02 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 80 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tool, Key, and Marshall, Barbacoa, the Berry Islands at 82. Allenstown, Bimini, 83 degrees, 86 in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 84. Black Point, Exuma, Kemps, Bay St. Andros, and Fresh Creek and Central Andros, all at 82 degrees. 84s in Otterstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key. Georgetown, Exuma, 83 degrees, 84 in Ragged Island. Clarence, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 85. Acklands, 85. Matitani, Nagua, 86 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 84. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Center in the Northwest and Central Islands tonight through Friday. The wind's going to remain light and variable with flat seas. Low tide takes place at 9:35 tonight, with another low tide at 9:58 tomorrow morning for the southeast Bahamas. Wind southeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Those conditions, too, will continue right into Friday. And that's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Stop the world! I want to get off! Stop the world and let me off. Tired of going round and round. I've played the game of love and loss. You stop the world and let me off. Stop the world and let me off.
And that's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. The extended weather forecast is still ahead.
You stop the world and let.
Almost every journey starts with your car. We spend most of the early stages of our lives anticipating getting our first set of wheels. When that moment finally comes, let AID be there for all your auto needs. Make it yours by accessorizing, maintaining, and repairing your car with AID. Whether you're a professional mechanic, a recent graduate, a full-time mom, or an I can fix that kind of guy. Or if you're completely clueless about what your car needs, AID will assist in providing a large variety of auto parts, a diagnostic center, and great customer service. For all life's auto journeys, we're here. AID, all you really need and more.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Attention customers, next Tuesday, a major hurricane will cause complete confusion and chaos throughout the entire Bahamas. Water, phone, and internet services will be in short supply. Definite data loss is expected to all local and family island businesses.
Disasters? Don't plan ahead, but you can. Don't wait. Make a plan with Bahamas Cloud. Safe, secure, and reliable service. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
I've been representing all my life. I'm getting ready to make it count this time. Census 2022 for your family line. You better get ready. It's about that time. So tell mama to be ready. Tell it to the whole family. Throughout the 242. The count depends on you. Tell Ted to go tell Bella. Mark it down on your calendar. Census 2022. The count depends on you. Yeah, be ready. Be ready. Be ready. Census 2022. The count depends on you. Be ready. Be ready. So tell mama to be ready. Tell it to the whole family throughout the 242.
The specials you count on are available every day at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Olivia vegetable or canola oil, 48 ounce, $4.99. Pastoroni pastors, 5 ounce, $2.19. Gatorade drinks, 64 ounce, 2 for $6. Fresh tomatoes, $1.59 per pound. Fresh pork shoulders, $1.79 per pound. Savings every day at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
This is ZNS Total Sports. Welcome to your evening sports. I'm Almajal Knowles, topping sports news. Several NFL standouts in town. A part of the Bahamas' first ever All-Pro weekend at instructional camp. We'll see our very own Mike Strawn, along with several other former stars, such as Michael Vick, try to impart some of their knowledge to our aspiring gridiron prospects. Among the NFL stars in town, Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen paid a courtesy call on Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Bolag, this afternoon. The minister on the importance of this camp.
That the game of football can deter many of our youths from the life of crime. On other like the other sporting disciplines, it has about 60 plus athletes that you can train one time that can be deterred from the life of crime. And so definitely my ministry, along with the Ministry of Education, sometime in the future will be looking forward to yourself and others and those who are with you right now coming along, teaching our young men about the fundamental of the game of American football.
And for any young person that wants to be involved, they certainly will be learning from the brightest and the best.
So to register for the camp, you do BahamasAllProWeekend.com, and the registration tab will be right there. It is a capped event because, you know, this is the first year, and so we want to make sure that everything is done as manageable as possible. There are 2 sessions, ages 6 to 12 and 13 to 18, and each individual session will have different components, you know, to it. So,
and being one of the best guys to run routes in the NFL, that's what I want to bring to these guys, showing them the knowledge that I have, feet work, stance and start, how to catch the ball the right way, above the waist, hands up, below the waist, hands down, attacking the football at all times, always coming back, being quarterback friendly, and getting open at the end of the day.
In news from the MLB, it was a career night for Bahamian outfielder Jazz Chisholm Jr. Chisholm would homer twice, including a grand slam, and had a career-high 6 RBIs as the Miami Marlins beat the Washington Nationals 12-2 on Tuesday night. He drove a 3-zip pitch up Jonah Dawn over the wall in center to make it 5-zip. He would then hit his 10th homer of the season in the 5th, a 2-run shot off Machado. It was the second multi-homer game of Chisholm's career. Chisholm, who was mirrored in a 2-for-29 slump since returning from left hamstring tightness, swung at a 3-zip 4-seamer outside the strike zone from Adon and sent it over the center field wall for a grand slam. He tacked on a 2-run shot in the 5th to make it a 12-zip ball game. He became the second Marlin with double-digit homers on the season. Asked how it felt for the ball club to perform the way it did after the long pregame meeting, Chisholm said he didn't realize everyone knew about it. In 42 games played so far this season, Chisholm has a triple slash of 255, 310, 541 with 40 hits, 10 home runs, 9 stolen bases, and 4 triples, which is tied for the most in the MLB. The Marlins use him as a leadoff hitter, and he's mashed in the position. His power hitting and speed make him a very effective and fun to watch player. He could easily make his first All-Star game this season, which would be the first of many. Well, the Bartari Regatta came to a close earlier this week, and our Charles Fisher was there and gave us this recap.
After 4 days of smooth sailing in the waters of Bartari, it came down to the final series race to crown a champion. And coming out on top was the crew of Fugitive and their young 22-year-old skipper, Brandon Sands McPhee. Keep Your Eyes on Him was second, Confusion third, Golden Girl fourth, Hog Toss fifth, and sixth was I've Tried.
Well, it was pretty tough. I was able to do 1 or 2 things along with my crew. They helped me out pretty good, and we made it happen for me and them. Well, we had a little issue problem, but we was able to scrap something and still place to win the championship.
Minister of Tourism and Aviation and the Member of Parliament for Exuma and Ragged Island, the Honourable I. Chester Cooper, with nothing but praise for the young sailor.
It's important that we recognize young men like Brandon
who continue to keep the sport of sloop sailing alive. We know that the future of sailing is bright when we see young men like Brandon sailing, but not just sailing, winning. I believe he is a product of the Exoma Sailing Club. The Exoma Sailing Club. There are a lot of other young sailors, but today we celebrate him. And this is important that we send a message to the rest of the islands of the Bahamas that we have to have this feeder program. We have to train our youngsters from very young, and as a result of that, we will get champions like Brandon McPhee.
How do you feel to have that coming from the Deputy Prime Minister?
Very good, buddy. It's my first time. I like what he tells me, and I'll keep up the good work.
So what's next on the high seas for McPhee?
Well, I got nothing else to say, but all I can say, they'll see me again. I come and win another one.
And that's been a look at sports. A check on weather when we return.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Keisha, what you saying, girl?
Man, Tony, you scared me.
Oh, they scared.
How this pandemic treating you? You working yet?
After all this time with no vaccine, no job, I had to do something.
Oh, so that's why you finally get your vaccine.
Man, I had to do what I had to do. Now I telling everyone get your vaccine. So you been good?
Yeah, man. I get my vaccine. I working, doing my little nail thing on the side. You know.
Solid. So when we getting out though?
Sweet boy, you couldn't handle us then, and you can't handle us now.
Wow, that's how you can do me, Keisha?
All right, Mr. Big Boss Tony. Stay safe.
You too, Keisha.
Vaccinate today, live tomorrow. A message by PAHO WHO, Canada, and USAID.
Hello, I'm Mario Nuri, returning to you with another informative program of A Familiar Walk, Steps Toward Hurricane Preparedness 2022. Join us with Madam President Therese Curry, President of the Bahamas Red Cross, Captain Stephen Russell, Director of NEMA, Mr. Charles Johnson of J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, and meteorologist Wayne Neely. We welcome you to be a part of our journey as we remind you that precautionary measures taken now could save life and property in the future. Join us.
This is where it happens. Those moments that impact our lives. Giving you the information that you need this hurricane season. Wherever there is news, we're there.
Been a complication in the OR. Serena Vasquez is dead.
We can't waste a heart. It goes to somebody else in this hospital.
Gonna sort through the matches, make a decision.
Our first patient is Janet Pike.
The idea of having someone else's heart in her body is disturbing to her. Yet she's still listed.
You want Walter to have the heart. Walter has the right disposition.
If I get rejected again, just let me go home.
Third match is Trip Granger.
His father's Emmett Granger, Granger Venture Partners.
When I heard about that heart, I couldn't help but think that God was looking after us.
It's blood money.
Let the committee decide that. We take it and we put it to work.
They had to cut another deal to keep this quiet.
Dr. Taylor, you're the decider.
It's a part of all of our lives. ZNS TV is where we go for information, entertainment, and enjoyment. ZNS is there with something for everyone.
ZNS TV, a part of our lives for 40 years.
Ordinary People is back with a new season. Join us on the ZNS Network.
Anybody drugs or more? Not New York's bestsellers, the hood bestseller.
I like that. Coming soon.
People are only going to say yes or no. And if they say no, keep on trying until you get a yes.
Ordinary People.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, our satellite picture is showing a troughing extending from post-tropical cyclone Alex, and that continued to affect most of the central Bahamas and the lower portion of the northwest Bahamas with pockets of showers and thunderstorms, which will continue into tomorrow morning, but we will see some improvement as we head into the weekend. Beautiful weather shaping up on the weekend. For you tonight, though, we're going in for partly to mostly cloudy with a thunderstorm in spot late tonight, 77 degrees for the low temperature, and tomorrow it's going to be showers and thunderstorms in the morning of an isolated nature. Otherwise, variable cloudiness is expected with a high temperature of 85 degrees. Extended weather forecast, the off and on showers will continue, as we said already, through Thursday. On Friday, you'll see much improvement in the weather, and then lots of sunshine developing on Saturday and Sunday, so you can go ahead and make your plans for the weekend. Temperature-wise, we're going to get you back up into the upper 80s by the weekend with the nighttime temperatures in the upper 70s. Makistra?
Well, thanks, Basil. That does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Everyone has a legacy to create our own footprints in the sand.